Okay.
All right. So we're back with Caesar's Capital Conversations with a very special guest. So today's guest is a master technician and he's an educator who's been around the game for over 4 decades. He spent 32 years coaching at the collegiate level. He's a three-time CIAA Southern Division champion. He's helped lead a team to the NCAA tournament twice. He's also raised the CIAA banner, and as a hooper, he was also elite as he led the nation in scoring in the 87-88 season, averaging 35 a game at Livingston College. He finished his illustrious career as their all-time leading scorer with 1,800 points and is considered one of the greatest shooters in collegiate history. So the Triple C Pod is very honored to have the new head coach for the TBL Eastern Conference champion, Raleigh Firebirds, Mr. Antonio Davis. Thank you.
Well, yeah. Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for the introduction. I'm very humbled by the words that you presented there. I've had an opportunity to be around, and as you mentioned, I've been around for a while, approaching 4 decades. So I'm an old dude just hanging in here. So I appreciate the opportunity to be on with you this evening.
No problem at all. I really appreciate you, sticking with me through the technical difficulties and everything that we were going through. Um, I
No problem
really,
at all.
I really appreciate you being gracious of your time. One of the first things I wanted to ask you is, you like you were just saying, you're coming up and approaching 4 decades around the game of basketball.
Oh
So,
yeah.
what was it that got you hooked on the game?
Well, I've played basketball since I could remember. I'm from a small rural town, Sunbury, North Carolina, which is in Gates County, northeastern North Carolina. Back in those days, growing up in the 60s and 70s, we didn't have all the distractions that young folk have today. So, all we could do was go outside and play. So we played all sports during that time, and basketball just caught on. Felt I was pretty good at all sports, actually, which a lot of guys were in those days, but basketball turned out to be my favorite, and I just kept working at it, and, it's got me here. So that's pretty much how it happened, just being out and playing with the guys.
That's awesome. So, like growing up, when you were like in your teenage years, was there like a ball player, specific ball player that you kind of inspired you to kind of build your tool
Wow.
around?
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Well, there were a lot. I tell you, I guess the first I remember, and I don't know if the young folks would remember these guys, but Tiny Archibald
Yes.
um, was one of my first ones that I can remember that I patted myself by because I liked his versatility. He was actually the first person to lead the NBA in scoring and assists in the same season. So I enjoyed watching him in terms of having the versatility to be able to shoot the ball, score the ball, and assist. After that, um, hey, Pistol Pete, man, Pistol Pete was my
Yeah.
guy because I loved the showmanship. So I learned, copy all the trick shots and all those things, and learn how to entertain while being productive. And I'd say after that, probably my favorite player all time is Magic Johnson, who's
Okay.
actually, for all your listeners, my GOAT. People argue about Jordan and LeBron, but Magic's my GOAT. So
Okay.
those are my favorite. Today's game, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of guys today. I like KD. I think he can score the ball. Anthony Edwards coming up seems to have some dog in him.
Yeah.
So I like him. I'm interested to see where his career goes. So those are the few of the guys that I really, enjoy watching today.
Okay. Okay. So speaking of dog, you had that dog in you too. In order to
Oh,
lead the nation in scoring, like right,
oh yeah.
that takes a
Oh
dog.
yeah.
So like
Oh
going
yeah.
into that year, what was your mentality when you touched the court?
Well, it was incumbent upon me to score that year. So, and interestingly enough, I consider myself a pass first guy. I enjoy my favorite part of the game is passing. So, ironically enough, I think I'm a better, uh, more skilled passer than scorer, if that can be believed, and shooter. But I was just blessed to be able to do both. So that year, I just had to score the ball for, our team's success. I still prided myself in being efficient.
Mhm.
I didn't take a lot of shots. I think probably I only had one game probably in my career that I took at least 30 shots. More times than not, I probably averaged about 18 shots a game. Only a few times over 20 shots actually.
Wow.
So I prided myself in being efficient.
Yeah, I did see that you were 50-50-90 guy. So,
Oh yeah. I, I'm I don't like tooting my horn. I'm a very humble dude, but um, I'm the only one. I'm one of one. There's
yeah,
no one that's ever done that.
right.
So um, I'm one of those hidden figures. If people don't really understand and know about those things, sometimes people come out or in any genre, and people really don't know these things. So I am a living hidden figure, the only 50-50-90 guy in basketball history.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
And
and
when I first met you
yeah,
a couple of weeks back,
yeah.
I was you always came off as humble. You didn't want to talk about that and everything like that. And I was like, no,
No,
we're
no,
going to talk
no.
about
That's
that.
not
Like
my thing. Yeah,
that,
because
but it definitely
the gold standard everybody talks about is 40-50-90.
okay.
You know, that's what, and there's only been a handful of guys who've ever done that.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud. And there's only a few guys have done the 50-40-90 in one season. Not only was I a 50-50-90 guy, I was a 50-50-90 for the career,
Mm-hmm.
not a season.
Right.
Yeah, so that's pretty remarkable. I don't think that'll ever be touched.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud to be. It's not a lot of people that can walk around on the face of the earth and say they're one of one, and I can say that.
Legendary, right? So that's definitely
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
reasons why I wanted to have you on is just because
Well, I appreciate that.
yeah, no problem. I wanted just one just to elevate and tell your story, but
Well, I
two,
appreciate that. Yeah.
yeah, no problem. Like legends like you have to be celebrated, like and
Well,
that's
yeah,
something that's
yeah,
definitely important to me. So
yeah. All the old heads, know me and know what I did. Matter of fact, interestingly enough, they said I was Steph before Steph.
yeah, yeah, you in
That's
the Hall of
yeah,
Fame,
yeah,
the
yeah.
CIAA
Oh
Hall of
yeah,
Fame.
yeah, yeah. That's what all the old heads say. The ones that are still around, and Steph is celebrated, as a great, the greatest shooter. But I would differ,
Yes,
and some of the old heads would as well.
yes,
I I I could put it in the basket.
yes, sir, yes, sir. So, you transitioned from being an elite player to also an awesome coach.
Oh
How,
yeah.
like, where was one of the like, who were some of the coaches you kind of modeled and or coaches that you
Wow.
saw? You were like, I want to be like this, or like this is this is a
Mm,
person, and this is why I want to be a coach.
yeah. Well, my high school coach, Willie Williams, better known as Doc Williams, I have an interesting story with him. He was part of talk about hidden figures, but people know about it now. He was part of the hidden game from what was North Carolina College at the time against Duke University.
Oh wow.
With that team with John McClendon back in I think it was 1943, I want to say.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure about it's either 41, 42, 43 somewhere in there, but that game has been touted now media wise about the hidden game where North Carolina College just spanked it back in the day. So they wouldn't play publicly, so they had to play over at Cameron during that time, and so he was on that team at North Carolina College. So my indoctrination to HBCU basketball came early.
Okay.
So that's how I got involved there, playing in high school for him. He always told me that, I would be a coach just because of the IQ that I had. So I took a lot of the discipline from him. I was fortunate enough to play in the best conference in the country during that time, which was the CIAA.
Okay.
Um, it was the best basketball league in the country at the time, Division 1 or Division 2. HBCU basketball back in the 60s, 70s, early 80s was top notch, you know, competing anywhere in the country. So I ran into some of the greatest of all time, big house games,
Okay.
Winston-Salem State University. Dave Robbins, Virginia Union University. My coach, Mr. Robinson over at Livingstone, he did a great job with me as well. Harvey Hartley at St. Augustine's College, one of the greats. Dick Price, Norfolk State University. Hank Ford, Hampton University. Jake Ford, who was at Fayetteville State University at the time. These are all great, legendary Hall of Fame coaches within the CIAA. And I learned and picked something up from them, those guys as well. And then the master of them all, like I said, which my high school played for, is John McClendon, who was a descendant of Naismith, and revolutionized the game. And he's one of those guys that he's gotten his due over the years. But I learned a lot from him early through my coach, Willie Williams, and wanted to make sure he got his credit as being probably the greatest of all time. And that was John McClendon, who factually, those hidden things again, created the four corners, not Dean Smith. So
Okay.
Dean Smith, no, sir. John McClendon created the four corners, created the fast break. So these other guys who tried it, no, sir. No,
Okay.
sir. So we want to make sure that's clear. So he invented all those things. So I learned those very early. So I learned from all those greats, and I just wanted to make sure they got credit. So that's why I picked up things learned from each one of them, and tried to carry them on.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yep.
So, all right. So, like, as a coach, what do you feel is like, what is like your most important philosophy? What's your red line in the sand? Like, this, or like, our team will do this. Like, my team will do this.
That's pretty funny. I can guarantee you a couple things. We're going to be in condition. We're going to be disciplined, and we're going to play the game the right way, which is together on both ends of the court. We're going to be connected. There's no question about that. But I think one of the biggest things for me is being able to adapt, not trying to make the guys fit the system, but pick a system that fit the guys. And I think that's very important to get the best out of each one. And just being adaptable. I'm a think out of the box guy. So I may do some things or have some thoughts that are probably unconventional. Just something simple like maybe posting up a guard. But if a guard has a strong post game, why wouldn't you post him up?
Right.
He doesn't always have to face up. So just trying to exploit mismatches, I think, is one of the things I like to try to do on the offensive end. And then defensively, just being able to adjust, trying to make the other team do the things they don't want to do. Just having a strong game plan.
Okay.
So those are some of the things I think you will, and the fans will enjoy and have to look forward to with the Firebirds.
Definitely. Now, as a coach, and like you kind of alluded to a little bit when you're talking about how the game is played today, like what like everybody has their own opinion about what playing the right way is. But in your opinion, like what is playing the right way? What's missing in today's game? Like as far as like AAU is concerned, like what's
oh goodness, don't go there with the AAU.
I want to know is there any positives to AAU, and if so, and if not, what are the overwhelming negatives to AAU as well?
If there is, I wish you please tell me. Oh goodness, it's tough to watch. It's really tough to watch, and I kind of understand what's going on with young kids and their parents now, and their ability and the threat of them leaving a team. So coaches kind of acquiesce to those parents and players, and they don't teach them the right way, and they allow them to play the game the way they want to play it, just to keep them on the team. But it's about offensively, man. You just got to share the ball. It's too much dribbling going on these days. People are open. They're not making the extra pass. They're not getting a great shot. Instead of just taking any shot, you got to get a great shot. And you don't see that enough. Defensively, just a lack of effort. It seems like we want to outscore everybody now.
Mm-hmm.
We got to play defense. You got to put, defense and rebounding are still critical in terms of winning championships. You obviously got to put the ball in the basket, but at some point you got to get a stop and you got to get a key rebound. And if you watch basketball on all levels, it's always the last few minutes of the game. It's always someone not getting a stop. It's always someone not securing that rebound that costs teams at the end of the game. So I think it's very critical in those areas. And I think just with the AAU, it just doesn't um, promote teamwork. It's individualized. Everybody's trying to get a scholarship. Everybody's trying to get NLI deals. So it's gone away from we, and it's a lot of me. And that's the part that I don't like. And quite frankly, won't tolerate in terms of the way we're going to play the game. We're going to play it together. And it's I'm non-negotiable on those things.
Okay.
We're going to play the right way, which is sharing on both ends. And we're going to play hard. And then we let the chips fall where they may.
Definitely. So the Firebirds were one step away from the TBL.
Oh man, great team.
Yes. One of our best teams ever. So what is something that we can do what do you think we can do to reach that holy grail, to make that final step and get to where we need to be?
Oh yeah. I watched some games towards the end of the year, and hey, the guys are great. I love them. I love what they have. We're certainly going to add some pieces, but they're right there. I thought one of the things that like I said, we're going to work on is being efficient, particularly in the game situations. So we're going to work very diligently on game scenarios. For instance, if you're up 8 with 5 minutes left, then you got to have a great shot selection. You just can't come down and shoot any shot at any time, depending on time, score, and game situations. So just working on those kinds of things, talking about those things with the guys, demonstrating those things, watching film, which I think is going to be very critical for us. So, we're going to get those things in, learn how to be efficient based on time and score, and then just be fundamentally sound. But other teams can play. No question about it. The champions were great, but we're going after them. I can tell you that.
Yes, sir. So, what type of what type of play style do you want to like? I know you want us to play connected.
Oh yeah,
and everything like that. Are we more of a fast-paced team? Do you think we should be more of a half-court offense? Like what kind of play style do you think we should with that?
We're going to get up and down the court, no question. The guys are very good at it. We're going to get up and down the court. But again, we got to talk about options, what we're going to look for based on who we're playing. So we're going to get up and down the court. We're going to be fast-paced, but we're going to be disciplined within our fast pace and make good decisions. So those are the things we're going to work on. Now, when you get to, the, Final Four championship round, at some point it turns half court. So you're going to have some versatility, and you're going to have to be able to run something, and you're going to have to be able to get a stop. So you're going to have to play both ways, because some nights it's going to be a grind, and you got to, rebound and defend some nights. You're not going to be outscore everybody every night. So we're going to try to be versatile. I've always promoted trying and being able to win different ways. We don't want to be a one-trick pony in terms of we can only win one way, and then when we're off, we struggle. So I'm going to promote, and we're going to work on being able to win different ways. I think that's the mark of a true champion. Can you win when you don't have your A game? Yes, and that's defensive rebounding. Like when you're hot, you're hot. Yeah, no problem that night. Well, you're not hot every night. So we're gonna promote defensive intensity, connectivity, and defensive rebounding.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's awesome. And so one thing that I really know about you is that the community matters with you. Like everywhere that you've been, you've really harped on, like everywhere you've been, the teams have improved, but not just on the court, but also in the classroom, right? So
absolutely.
what are some like initiatives or things that you want to get behind out in the community now that you're the general in charge of Raleigh's
Oh
and professional
yeah. Well, absolutely, absolutely. We're going to get out. The Firebirds, Wade, and the contingency, have done a great job thus far. I'm just going to jump in and try to lend my hand and do what I can to increase the visibility, of the Firebirds. Lend my name and likeness out, and we're going to work as a team, and we're going to get the community involved with us. We're going to get out and do the things we have to do in the community and let them know that that's what we're about as an organization. Community first, family first, and the community is our family. So we're going to go out, speak what we need to speak, meet with people we need to meet with, get everybody involved, let them know this is your team, this is your city. We have professional basketball here.
Mm-hmm.
Your team, one unit, we're all one. So we're gonna get that message out. We're excited. We're gonna get folks excited, no doubt about it. And that's what I'm bringing to the table, man. That passion and love and excitement for Firebirds basketball.
Yes, sir. And we are super excited to have you. And like one thing I do want to ask you is how can the RDU and the Firebird family support you? What can we do to help you and help the Firebirds along the way?
Hey, we just need the community to get out and support us. Hey, let's get those season tickets. Let's get some sponsorships going locally. This is your team. We are the Firebirds. We are Raleigh, North Carolina. We're going to be the top team in the country. No question about it. So we want you guys to be proud. We're going to make you proud, and we're proud to be a part of this community.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Mr. Davis, Coach Davis, that's all I really have for you today. I
Oh,
really
goodness,
appreciate,
man. I'm
yeah,
humbled.
yeah, I
I'm
really
humbled,
appreciate you
man.
taking out the time and everything, and
Yes,
bearing with me and everything. So, I do want to thank you again for coming through, and definitely going to be
absolutely.
supporting you full force,
Thank you
100%.
very much.
Anything that you need, I got you. No worries at all.
We appreciate you very much, and I'm available anytime.
Yes, sir.
Whatever
Yes.
you need, whatever you need.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. This
All
has
right.
been Ceez's Capital Conversations. I'm with the great Antonio Davis, the new
Oh
head
my
coach
goodness.
of the Raleigh Firebirds. Yes, sir. Got to tell the truth.
Oh man. Oh goodness.
Yes, sir. For
Humbled
sure.
and blessed. Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, you have a great night, sir. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you very much, and thank you, fans, for listening.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace.
All right. Thank you.